This program has been brought to you by Republic National Distributing Company, one of the nation's leading wholesale beverage alcohol distributors. And by your rum, made with only the best Louisiana cane syrup and raw unrefined sugars. Our rums are crafted on-site at the Louisiana Spirits Distillery. For more information, visit buyyourrum.com.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Appetite for Life. I'm your host, Tim McNally, and we are once again featuring the professionals who have devoted their lives to creating fine cuisine and quality beverages for your enjoyment. Tonight, we look to New Orleans' Warehouse District, where several dining revolutions are unfolding at the same time. Chef Jacob Curitan of Annunciation Restaurant will discuss his style and his holistic approach to creating a dining and drinking destination. Then it's out to California, to the borderline between Napa and Sonoma Valleys with winemaker Peter Spann. Spann Vineyards. Peter lived and worked in New Orleans before going west. Finally, a relatively new shop in town, Spirit Wine, that touches all the bases when it comes to products and knowledge to help you make a good purchase decision. Daryl Greevy is not just building a business, he is also building a legacy using personal service as the foundation. All of that is coming up right now on Appetite for Life. And we're back. Tim McNally here, Appetite for Life. Thank you very much for being with us. I'm very excited about talking to this young man because, as you will see, he is multi-talented, lots of interest going on. Chef Jacob Curitan from Annunciation. Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me.
Annunciation. I didn't mean to slur over that, but Annunciation Restaurant is a place, Jacob, that a lot of even New Orleanians don't even know it's there.
Yeah, we've been there for 4.5 years, and we're right in the middle of the Warehouse District. And you know, I think the reason being is just because we've gone through a little bit of transition in those 4.5 years, but we're really kind of hitting some strides now, and we're trying to get our locals back in.
Well, you've got restaurants all around you, including Cochon, right there, and it's become a great dining destination area.
We're right in this little triangle area in the Warehouse District, and you've got Wood Pizza, you've got Cochon, and you have us, and then right down the street you have Sacale. And then you have Emerald's and Tommy's and all these other great restaurants all right within, 4 or 5 blocks of each other. So it's definitely a great area to go walk around.
Well, and 10, 15 years ago, that was never that way. That was that area. The biggest thing in that area was the gas station.
Mm-hmm. It's still pretty big.
Yeah, I've been there many times.
Lots of foot traffic in there.
Been there many times. But you're one of the new breed, Chef, and there are a couple things about you that I find interesting. First of all, you're not from New Orleans.
Nope.
You feel like you are, though. This has been on your mind your whole life.
I was always going to be here. I knew that.
Yeah. And you're from?
Yeah, I'm from Fairhope, Alabama.
Yeah.
And I lived all over Baldwin County, and I was in Magnolia Springs. We lived in Bon Secours. We lived in Orange Beach, Fairhope. So I grew up a lot around the Gulf Coast and all the fishing and seafood and all that kind of stuff, and it really kind of plays into my cooking right now.
You also, how unusual you are, you also love taking an interest in what goes on at the bar in your restaurant. You have a big influence on the bar.
After going to CIA in New York, I was young and I want to be a chef, And at one point I was like, I want to be a pastry chef because I like doing cakes and stuff like that. But then I got up there and they're like, look, a chef isn't just a chef. You have to do everything, So now that what they taught me and what I really implement in my job now is that I'm a restaurant person. You know, I don't enjoy the holidays. I make the holidays. You know?
It's a whole
And I am a restaurant
approach.
person, so I have to be that way.
Yeah.
And so I look at everything. I want the whole experience. You know, if the servers aren't treating the customers like the way I want them, I'll go up and tell them, no, do it this way. You know, because I want them to have this whole experience. So that way, you have a great dining experience. You have a great comfortable experience. You're going to have a great cocktail experience. So I want my drinks to reflect my food. So I'm trying to be as creative as I can by using a lot of local ingredients, but also using lots of color, using lots of texture, and making your senses kind of overload when you eat my food. And
if they ever do a TV series on you, I know what the title's going to be. It'll be Jacob in Charge. That'll be the title right there. Let's have a drink. Let's,
cool.
Chef, since
right.
I know that you like to do this sort of thing, what did you bring us today?
So, I love good music, and I love good food. I love art. Everything about art is revolving around my life. So this drink is actually dedicated to one of my favorite musicians, George Porter Jr., and I love the meters.
Good choice.
You know, so this one's called the George Porter Sour, and that we call it the Fire on the Bayou.
Fire on the Bayou, from the title, from the
So
movie, and
we've
music
got-
of the same name.
We got some rye whiskey,
Yep.
and we're gonna do about. I'm gonna make 2 drinks, so we're gonna go about 3 ounces in here,
Yeah, there's 2 of us. You got to do that.
and then we're gonna go with just a little bit of simple syrup, about the same amount of lime juice, and then we are going to crack an egg white.
I can't tell you how many people have tried to do that on this show and have screwed it up. So good for you.
There we go.
That's
Wipe my hands off a little
all
bit.
right. So you've got Sazerac, we've got simple, and we've got some lemon.
Lime juice.
Lime juice.
Yep.
Not lemon. Lime.
Very simple drink.
You've got ice in there already.
You don't want to go crazy with drinks. You want to keep them true to what they are.
I
you
couldn't
know?
agree more.
And then what we did to make this one a little bit cooler was we added some port. Can I throw out the porter name there?
Ah, there's the tie-in.
So we're gonna shake
There's
it.
the tie-in to George Porter. Fire on the Bayou.
You gotta shake it pretty good with that egg white.
You got to break it up.
It's gonna emulsify. It's gonna bring everything together and give you a really, really nice texture and mouthfeel.
You do have that technique down very nicely. If this chefing gig doesn't work out, you've got that going for you.
Thank you. So here we go. I'm gonna pull these right over here real quick.
Great.
And I like to catch all the little bits of ice too in this drink. So it's really nice and smooth.
Wow, that is really nice. Look at that beautiful texture on that drink. What was that cherry on the bottom there, Chef?
That's a Luxardo cherry.
Oh, those are the best, aren't
Best. I could sit there and eat them all day. My girlfriend could too.
they? Wow.
She makes me buy them for home. 'Cause I have a bar at home and we make cocktails all the time.
Oh,
now.
I'll bet. Well, that's a good way to spend an afternoon, too, eating Luxardo cherries.
Well, here we go. I'm going to top it off with a little bit of Angostura bitters.
Great. Can never go wrong there.
And you just want to lay it right across the top there.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And to finish it off, we do this table side. So if you order this at the table,
So this is how you serve it at Annunciation.
this is going to come out to your table. They're also going to bring this. And then as soon as they set it down, they're going to
There goes
drop
the
in
port.
some port. And that's our Porter Sour, Fire on the Bayou.
That's really a beautiful drink, Chef. Oh, to your great success, sir, and thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
You like creating cocktails as much as you like creating things in the kitchen?
I think I like it just as much because it's just a whole nother beast for me, you know. So, you know, you can come in and get the Porter Sour, has some port, then we have a sour gris, and it comes out gray, and it has a little bit of creme de violet in it. You had that one on the radio show.
I did. I had it. It didn't show well on the radio, by the way.
So, and then we have that one, and then we do one more, and it is the it's called the Yukon Cornelius, and it's a ginger sour. So it's a whiskey ginger sour.
Let's talk about some food, because now we've got the drink. Let's talk about your menu. You are, as you indicated, Creole based, but you like to play around. You dance around that pretty liberally, don't you?
I do. I try to, we originally opened up as a Creole restaurant, but I'm from Alabama, and I like my Southern food, and I don't like to be stuck just to New Orleans. And I think Creole is bigger than New Orleans. It's the Gulf Coast, because we all have the same ingredients throughout the whole Gulf Coast.
That's a new style, of the Southern style. But you got a dish which you brought us today, Chef, if you want to bring that up. You also moved a little bit west of here, used the Cajun influence, and married it to the Old South and then to Creole.
Yeah. And I love doing pickles, So last summer I bought a lot of vegetables from the local farm, and we got kind of slow. So I had one day where I just pickled, pounds and pounds and pounds of vegetables. So,
not like the pickles are going to go bad. They'll keep forever.
They keep forever, and they're beautiful the longer they go, So I make my own boudin at the restaurant. And for the bar, if you can come and sit at the bar and have a drink, we have boudin balls. And you can come
Another reason to go to the bar.
And you're not just going to get boudin balls when you sit down. If you order a boudin ball, you might expect just to get some boudin balls with a little mustard or something. We give you all sorts of stuff. So
let's bring them up, because you pre-prepared that dish, and these are your boudin balls.
These are my boudin balls.
What's all in there, Chef? This is pretty busy.
So I have all these things that are going to kind of just make your mouth go crazy. The boudin balls are nice and heavy. They're gonna have all these acidic things to cut through that. So I used to work for Isaac Toops, and he makes great pickles.
Great guy.
He does all those meat boards that he makes.
Yeah.
They're awesome. I love it. He taught me so much about making pickles and stuff, so I really helped me kind of develop this recipe. So I have some pickled lunchbox peppers, some zephyr squash. I have some curried green tomato pickles and some pickled watermelon radishes, and some pickled mustard seed. And on the bottom, there's a little bit of Creole, Crystal hot sauce aioli. Wow. And it's just an aioli that we made with Crystal hot sauce instead of lemon juice or vinegar.
And this is the sort of dish which I do want to compliment you in this regard. This goes with cocktails.
Oh yeah.
This is a dish for cocktails. It's always a problem in my mind. We have a cocktail, and we got some food, but they don't really mix. Yeah. They don't. This mixes with the cocktail. This would go with this cocktail.
Yes, it would.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So the cool thing about pairing cocktails is it's a little bit easier than wine, I would say. People think it's hard, but if you really think about it, you get to choose what goes in that cocktail. That wine, you can't choose what goes in that wine. You can't choose anything about that wine except for that it tastes this way and it might go with that. So I can take this dish and create a cocktail that's going to go with it, because I can choose the sour, I can choose the sweet, I can choose, what type of flavors I want to get in a drink. So you can really treat it like a dish and pair those two together.
So you've got the bar, you've got the restaurant, you're kind of looking over the whole operation there, Chef. It's a lot on your plate, if you pardon the pun. Where is Annunciation?
I think we're just getting started.
Yeah.
We really do. We've kind of we called it the new incarnation of Annunciation, because we really feel like we're on a new tip here, and we're gonna keep going with this new direction and keep it going and try to get people excited about it, because it's just one of those things that's kind of fallen off the map with all these restaurants opening up last year. Over 30 restaurants last year in the summer. Wow. Opening up, and they get all the buzz, and then they forget that we're doing new stuff too. So we're trying to bring these new things and give you some bar food so you can come have a drink and have some boudin balls, and leave without spending $20.
Give us the address, please, Chef.
1016 Annunciation.
1016 Annunciation. For those of you that have been there, go back. It's changed. It's now under Chef Jacob Curitan's tutelage. He's doing a fabulous job at all levels. Chef, thank you so much for sharing the drink. Thank you so much for sharing the boudin balls. And as soon as we go off camera here, we're going to enjoy.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. Part of the new breed of chefs in New Orleans. Jacob Curitan. Annunciation is the restaurant. We'll be right back on Appetite for Life. An old and a dear friend is right with us today, but he isn't in the studio. He's out in California. Peter Spann, Spann Vineyards. Peter, welcome to the show.
Good to see you, Tim. How you doing?
We're doing very well, Peter. So the days since you have been in New Orleans have been good to you in the wine business.
It's been a lot of fun. It's a real creative process. It's always a challenge. Every year is different, so it's not doing the same thing over and over again. Yes, we make similar wines every year, but we deal with this little thing called Mother Nature, which I think you probably know a little bit about in New Orleans. But every year is Mother Nature throws something different at us, and we got to figure out how to deal with it.
Well, what we're looking at today, Peter, is the massive rains that you had there in Northern California, Napa and Sonoma, and that has affected the land, not the grapes, because they're still resting, aren't they?
Correct. This is the time of year we get our rain. We get an entire year's worth of rain in about 4 months, and actually in the first 16 days of January, we had more rain than in all of 2015 combined. So it's been hitting us hard.
Peter, let's talk about Spann Vineyards. What are you making? What kind of grapes are you working with up there on the mountain?
We grow Bordeaux varietals, mainly Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Merlot, and Malbec. But then that only gives us about 5% of our total needs. We like playing with a lot of different grapes, so we do a lot of red blends. We work with Mourvedre, Zinfandel, Senso, Syrah, Petit Syrah. We've even played around with Tempranillo. So we like doing a lot of different things just to keep interesting.
I have a bottle here of Spann Vineyards, Betsy's Backacre, lot number 12. I don't believe I've ever seen the word Backacre on a label except yours, Peter.
Yeah, we try and have some unique names and also names that mean a lot to us and the production of the particular wine. This wine originally was not meant to be for sale. We have no employees at our winery, in our vineyard, and so every year at harvest, we have friends and neighbors and family and wine club members who pitch in and help us pick our grapes and make wine with us. And our vineyard is on a rather steep mountainside. And we have 41 acres of land. The vineyard's in the back corner. It's in the back few acres. My wife's name is Betsy, so we've always referred to the vineyard as Betsy's Back Acres, meaning A-C-R-E-S, because the back couple of acres of the land. And then we said, hey, you know, our friends work hard out here and end up with aching backs. They need a nice glass of red wine when they're finished. So Betsy's Back Acre is a little play on words we made up. It was just kind of a joke for our friends. And the idea of this wine is it's the perfect 5 o'clock red wine. You get off of work, you want something that's flavorful, but not overpowering. You want something that is interesting, but simple enough that if you have friends over who are not so much wine connoisseurs, they're not scared away by the wine. It's just a fun wine. And then if you want to go into dinner with it, yeah, this works for food also. It's great by itself or with food. It's not tannic, it's not bitter, it's not harsh. It's just a very friendly wine. And that's what we wanted to achieve, to give away to our friends. And they liked it so much that they go home with half a dozen bottles, and then 6 months later call us back and say, hey, we want to buy some of that. That was pretty good. And we'd say, oh, well, sorry, we don't have any. We gave it all away. So after a number of years, we said, duh, maybe we need to make a little more of this and offer it for sale, and it's been very successful for us.
Two things about the wine, Peter. The grape group is Bordeaux varietals, as you noted, so that's expected. But then you threw a little surprise in there. And the second thing is that the wine is under screw cap, which makes it perfect for restaurant sales.
Yeah, and also just the easy wine. At 5 o'clock, you get home, I got to search for the corkscrew. No, let's just unscrew the bottle top. We want wine to be very accessible to people. Everyone should be drinking wine. When I started out in New Orleans 45 5 years ago, drinking wine, not everybody did. It was kind of a rare thing for people to drink wine, and it was mainly just in fine dining establishments, or the bottle of Boone's Farm apple wine at the fraternity party. But for the most part, wine was not a big thing, and now it is, and we want to keep expanding that.
It's been great catching up with you again, sir. I hope that when you come to New Orleans, you'll let us know. We'll do this again in the studio together, tasting your wines. But in the meantime, best of luck to you and Betsy, Span Vineyards out of California. Peter, thank you.
You're welcome, Tim. Great talking with you.
Tim McNally, Appetite for Life. We're going to be right back after a short break. Welcome back. Tim McNally, Appetite for Life. We appreciate you being with us. We're going to take you to a place you may not have been today, and it is Spirit Wine Uptown on Magazine Street. Daryl Grivey is the proprietor. Daryl, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Tim. Great to be here.
Good to be here. We got a glass of wine in our hand.
Oh, well, how'd that happen?
Magic. What do we have?
So this is a little Pinot Noir from Burgundy in France, made by Bouchard Père et Fils.
Oh, you pronounce that so well.
Well, I mean, you can do it better.
No, I can't.
Père
No,
et
you
Fils.
did it as well as anybody could. Daryl, let's talk about the shop. Spirit Wine. What an interesting title for a wine company, Spirit Wine.
Well, we do a lot of things here, and one of them is to focus on wines we feel like are made naturally and traditionally and really have the spirit, embrace the spirit, or, in French, you would say terroir. But the spirit of the wine really comes through in all the wines, and we're very careful about our selections and try to really find the wine that has the spirit that we want.
To be fair, the shop has a lot of things in it besides wines. It's very well stocked.
Thank you. Yeah, true. We're actually bringing in a lot more food products and trying to support a lot of local businesses as well, so you'll find a lot of local products here as well.
Your passion. How did you start all this? Having a wine shop is really walking a tightrope.
It is. I mean, you're always day to day, you're always looking for what your customer wants, but also looking for what they might not know they want. So you have to have both sides of the coin. And really, that's what attracts me to it is I really love helping people out and turning them on to sort of new things. We love our neighborhood. We love the neighbors. We get some amazing questions in here, right down to like people walking in and saying, do you have a wine that's this color?
Whoops, sounds like time for a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. The approach you take to this thing, Daryl, I have compared you in particular in this market to a sommelier at the retail level.
Yeah, I mean, that's just training. Having worked on the floor in numerous restaurants performing that service, when you get here, it's really, the only real difference is you don't have that immediate reaction. Usually I'm not pouring you a glass and you say yes or no. I say, take this home and pair it with whatever you're cooking and let me know. So the deferred sort of judgment is kind of nice sometimes.
Do you find that people are particularly up here, you're in the uptown area, people are fairly knowledgeable and have some idea what they're looking for?
Compared to most places I've worked, I'm amazed at how much knowledge people have here. It's wonderful, especially about French wine because of the culture. You'll have some really obscure requests because people, they grew up speaking French and they travel freely in France. They go to some strange little village in southern France and they come in requesting something that takes me a month to special order, but I'll get it.
Wow, that's quite the challenge. Do you yourself, do you drink wine exclusively, or are you kind of a spirits kind of guy too?
I like great representations of anything. You give me the best gin, I'll appreciate it just like I will wine. I think it's a little easier to do wine with food, but I get into cocktails, I get into beer, all that, and we have pretty good selection of all those sort of things.
What you do here at Spirit too, you do a lot of tastings here. You open the store up and tell people to come in and try these things. It's a massive undertaking.
At least once a week, we do 4 to 5 wines, and occasionally maybe like 2 to 3 times a year we'll do a big tasting with about 30 to 50 wines. It can be a little bit overwhelming, but it's really fun.
Well, it helps you learn too, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, there's always something to learn with wine. It's so deep and so variable. You know, you could open the same bottle, same vintage, 2 different days in a row. They'll taste completely different based on you, based on the bottle variation, based on, you know, your surroundings. So yeah, it's always a calibration.
You've been open for how long now?
As spirit wines, 7 months.
So you're starting to hone in on what people are truly looking for and what they appreciate.
Yeah, certainly. I feel like you always know because it's the one that sells out and you have to reorder. So it's
That's the best. People vote with an empty glass.
exactly the true democracy.
That is the best. Daryl, rosés are so hot right now, and we're drinking them year-round. I know you have a number of them in stock.
I do, and I'm particularly excited about Australian wine right now. We have some great rosés from this sort of iconoclastic winemaker, Anton von Klopper. His label is called Domaine Lucci. He's doing a thing where he blends Sauvignon Blanc with Sangiovese and Merlot. No sulfites added, all natural fermentation. It's just a very delicious, fruit-forward, super complex, characterful wine, and flies off the shelf when I can get it.
Oh,
we
wonderful.
have a good amount in stock right now, though.
Good. Well, that's certainly a tip. A lot of people enjoy the rosé, I know. So you're located where? Where can they come and get that wine?
We're at 3500 Magazine Street, Magazine at the corner of Aline, right off Louisiana.
And Daryl, can people find you online also?
On Facebook and Instagram.
All the bases are covered.
All the bases are covered.
Thank you for allowing us to come in today and to learn about your shop. And I think shop is the appropriate term here. It's not a store, it's a shop.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment.
It is
I appreciate
a compliment. It is. Thank you. Daryl Grivey with Spirit Wines. This is Tim McNally, Appetite for Life. Thank you very much. We'll be right back. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Appetite for Life. In case you have missed any of our shows, every one of our previously broadcast episodes is available at WLAE.com/Appetite for Life. See you next time.
This program has been brought to you by Republic National Distributing Company, one of the nation's leading wholesale beverage alcohol distributors. And by your rum, made with only the best Louisiana cane syrup and raw unrefined sugars. Our rums are crafted on-site at the Louisiana Spirits Distillery. For more information, visit buyyourrum.com.